Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in, welcome in. This is a brand new episode of Snaps. YouTube.com/@volumesnaps is where we're at on YouTube. Of course, if you listen on pod, thank you so much. Spotify, Apple, wherever, rate it, review it. That certainly helps. But how about this, boys? Up to 11-4, almost 11-5. We're looking for 12-5 before the natty. I'm talking sub count here. Thank you so much, everyone hanging out.
So at 10,000, T-Bob is going to cut his hair. So that's going to happen after Christmas.
No. Hold on. No. We got to talk about this. I told you.
Whoa.
I am the officiant in my little brother's wedding in April. And my wife is very out on the idea of cutting my hair at all. But she has made me, I can't do it till after April. It is what it is. We can do something to make up for it. Look, if y'all have never been
at 12-5, that's all I was gonna say. Because
I'll eat ass right now. I'll eat ass at 11-4. That's up to her. Like I said, the idea of eating ass in just a completely normal headspace like I'm at right now feels a little like, but like, you know how it is when you in it. Like I've kind of,
I agree with everyone in the chat right now. Everyone's saying it will grow back by April. Like,
bro, look.
It will grow back by April.
I love all of you. Okay. I don't have to live with any of you. Okay. So no, I ain't playing this fucking game. She was seriously about to fucking fight me.
Committed to the cause. I see.
What are you doing, Aaron? That's what she asked me. What are you doing?
But I never made a promise. What
are you doing?
I never made a promise. I didn't get on here multiple times to say we get to 10. I'm going to cut my hair. I didn't do it, or I would have. I'll cut my hair.
No. You already get the fuckboy fade. Shut up.
What do you want me to do then? What do you want me to do?
I don't want you to do anything. What I want to do, and we should be doing this behind closed doors, but what I want to do is a national championship drunk watch along stream.
Okay.
Where we watch the game and get drunk and basically just talk about the game. And you can all sit at home and have us on your screen. Maybe have a headphone in if you want and watch the natty and everybody get drunk. No, guys, I am not a Welch. Shut up right now, chat. Not a Welch. It is just, the debt will still be paid. This is just an extension. Okay.
B2B visor. Yes.
Everybody relax. Caleb McCollum turned this pod name to Snips and get that hair cut full. It already was Snips when we both got our balls cut last year. Again, guys, everybody relax. It's going to happen. All of it spray tan, with the fuckboy fade. But we're going to have to come up with something else in the interim. But I think a drunk national championship stream is the least of which we could do. That would also be a lot of fun. I'm also, and now I want to be clear, no, never will go Gillette commercial clean shaven T-Bob, so don't look forward to that. I also want to be clear that
why do you do that? How about that one? Let's do that. I agree with the chat. You won't cut your hair, cut your beard.
Look, no.
Cut your beard.
No.
Cut your damn beard.
I don't think you understand. That is a non-starter. That is a non-starter.
Why?
That ain't going nowhere. Why? I've not had a cleanly shaven face in well over a decade. And it's not about to start up again now. I'm sorry that I had to start the show.
I do drink, Caleb. I do. I'm
sorry that I had to start the show this way.
Not maybe to the extent that T-Bob does on his whiskey and nights after LSU games, but
I've gone out drinking with Aaron. Aaron's a responsible drinker, but not to the point where he won't get drunk. He will get drunk.
Get drunk.
You don't get drunk?
No, I just don't enjoy it. I like just getting to like the point where you feel buzzed and relaxed, and then I kind of going. Too many responsibilities. I don't got time to fucking sleep in. I don't got time for that.
Well, nobody said shit about sleeping in, bro. I wake my ass up for a morning show the next day.
Yeah, and I don't want to deal with that.
I go to SEC media days. I push it. push the limits, folks. Anyway, all right. Okay, then take 10 straight shots of the liquor off your choice in the watch along. I do 10 straight shots, but yeah, I'll be drinking a lot of whiskey. I mean, I think that brown liquor in winter, but brown liquor and Christmas specifically go together like peanut butter and jelly. Every single night this past week has been spent with me pouring at least 2 or 3 tall glasses of whiskey. And I love having a lit Christmas tree on the periphery as I'm watching a movie. Last night, Aaron, how about this? First time in my life, we went Christmas caroling. Like true Christmas caroling. About 30
sounds delightful.
About 30 kids in the neighborhood, all the parents, everybody's drinking, walking around. We all have our song sheets that one of the neighbors printed out. And we would go knock on people's door. And as soon as they answer the door, you just start spewing Christmas carols at them, which is kind of funny because like most people are not super open to like who the fuck is knocking on my door at 7 at night. But then they see it's like a bunch of little kids singing Christmas carols. So then you're required to sit there for like the 2.5 minutes.
You have to just suck it up and stay there.
You got to stay there and listen to the song. And it seems like most people, got like, a big kick out of it. Probably the funniest interaction though. There's a police officer in my neighborhood, and every time you go to a house, you send one of the kids to go knock on the door. And so he sent this little like 4-year-old girl, 3-year-old girl. And I mean, she fucking bangs on this dude's door like multiple times, right? And all of a sudden you see the blind like fly to the side, and he's got this crazy look on his face. Well, and then we start singing, and he has the best time. They're all laughing, whatever. But he tells us afterwards his teen daughter had just left the house like 30 minutes prior. And that style of knock is what he interprets, he said, as the police knock. So he said he had immediate adrenaline pumping in his body, heart hammering out of his chest. And that's why he was flinging the door, because he just knew he was going to see an officer at his door with some grave news for him. Instead, it was 30 little kids singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. It's not bad. So this
beautiful calm down.
So this raises an interesting philosophical debate. And I forget where I heard this. I wish I could credit it, but I can't remember where I originally heard this. But is it better to have a good dream or a bad dream? If you have a good dream and you wake up, you're disappointed that it's bad. That mean that it's not real, right? Like you were just a movie star. You were this, you were that. You were dating Lindsay Lohan. I'll never forget that one. I think it was in like 8th grade. It was awesome. Go and Get a Clue came out. Maybe before. And then you wake up, you're like, oh shit, none of that's true. I'm just still me. But then if you have a bad dream, awful in the time, but when you wake up, you're going to tell me that relief doesn't almost feel worth it. Like it's so incredible. Like the other night, I had an awful nightmare that like I had lost my daughter. And I remember when I kind of realized it was a dream, like ripping myself out of the dream and basically like, oh my God, thank God. It's not real. And so it kind of begs the question, what's better, good dream or bad dream?
I will let you know at the end of the show.
Interesting. What do you mean? Are you going to dream during the show? I don't understand. Are you
just trying to move on the football talk.
You couldn't even give me a single answer. I'm not one of your girls you're trying to bed, Aaron Murray. You can't
it depends. I think it depends on how satisfied you are with your current life. Like I have a good dream. I woke up. I'm very happy with my life as it is right now. I still look at it as a positive way to start the day.
Yeah, but generally, I mean, you can be happy with your life right now, but you told me you don't want things. I mean, you dream about having those things. It's tough when you don't have them anymore. But it's a fair point you make nonetheless. Yeah. Also, don't ever try to dismiss me conversationally again in the way that you just did. I'm not one of these women that you're trying to bed in the Athens bar at Hogshead or whatever, okay? You're not going to take me home just because you act like an asshole. I'm not going to stick to you like mud because you treated me like dirt. So get out of here.
That's what you think. All right.
Is that what Kirby does to get all these recruits? All right. Let's get into the show. Sorry about this, y'all. Huge thank you to everybody watching online right now. Hit the like button, share with your friends. Let's talk. Shepard X says T-Bob drinks Everclear after watching the LSU defense this year. I would actually wash my eyes out with Everclear after every defensive series this year. That's how awful that product was to watch. All right. Florida State. Some breaking news here. Aaron, do you actually want to take the lead on this? Because I did not get near the amount of prep time I generally do for our show. I'm coming straight. I'm a local radio man. for my main job. And so I was touring a new client. It was very
Mm-hmm.
good. Shout out. But like this all kind of broke while I was in meetings and whatnot.
Yeah. No, I mean, we all know, for those who have watched college football or been kind of up to news with the realignment of what college football is going to be. A year ago, when the Big Ten shuffled and the SEC shuffled, the new media deals came out with Fox and NBC uh, uh, for the Big Ten, then obviously Disney, ESPN for the SEC, and the amount of money that each university was going to make. Kind of the ACC was sent back saying, like, what the hell? Like, we're Florida State, we're Clemson, we're major brands, two of the bigger ones, obviously, in that conference. And we're going to get paid $30 to $40 million less than Vanderbilt, than Northwestern, then obviously Ohio State and Georgia and Alabama, the teams that we truly are going to be like, we're at a $40 million gap. So obviously that pissed them off. Now Florida State goes 13-0 and gets left out for multiple reasons. One, your quarterback's not playing, but then Boo came out, Corrigan, and said, you're also not in because of strength of schedule. Like, it was a shot at the ACC.
It was.
So Florida State's been wanting to get out of this league for first of money. I think this plays a little bit of a role into it. Obviously, the expanded playoffs next year, like, it doesn't really matter because you'll get in next year with a 12-team playoff. But they look at it as we all do. Like, it's two super conferences. It's either you're in the Big Ten, in the SEC, or you're at a lower level, essentially. And Florida State, and they shouldn't view themselves as a lower team, views themselves like the big boys. So does Clemson, Miami, and they want out. The problem is, obviously, we the grant of rights. So the grant of rights owns the media rights for all the ACC schools until 2036. So they want to get out of that. It's pretty ironclad, very difficult to get out of it. Obviously, a lot of money has to be essentially put together. They're talking about some private equity to help with the difference there. But they're going to be meeting tomorrow to continue the conversation of maybe even legal action against the conference to get out of this grant of rights so they can start making a move to most likely the SEC or Big Ten. I know there's been some talks, maybe the Big 12, but I do think that, like, to me, why would you leave the ACC to go to the Big 12? It's the same damn thing. You want to go to one of the big boys. Obviously, SEC would be the preferable one. So they're going to continue to keep the ball rolling.
What do you mean by SEC? Now, what do you mean by SEC would be the preferable one?
I think
for who? For the SEC or for FSU?
I would think for FSU. I mean, I get the Big Ten's trying to make this a national conference from what they've added with Washington, Oregon, and USC and UCLA. But, like, I still like, when it comes to building a conference, I think Sankey's done a good job of understanding, like, where is our geographical footprint. It is in the Southeast. We are called the SEC for a reason. Florida State just fits into that a little bit better.
I think he's saying that now, as it behooves him. Watch that change once it becomes, the monetarily best choice to add some team.
But what teams do you want to add? I mean, what teams on the West Coast would you want to add right now?
None right now, but I mean, consolidation isn't going to stop, right? Like this, this is. I mean, I can see
the Big Ten could take the Midwest and the West,
and
then the SEC just take essentially the Southeast all the way up the East Coast. So I mean, consume most of the schools you want in the ACC.
I mean, if Florida State does find a way out, it's likely the death knell for the ACC. Now, I don't know that agreement inside and out, but I kind of have a layman's understanding that if one team does get out, then the floodgates kind of open and other teams would be able to follow suit. I don't know if it now maybe it's like cost prohibitive for other teams to follow, because Walker Dog in the chat says, where does this leave Clemson? I mean, I think it leaves Clemson getting out as well.
Yeah,
or doing everything they can to get out. This is one of the great ideas. And again, you just can't get people to ever agree to anything like this because the NCAA is still there and trying to hold on to whatever shred of itself it is. And you have, a ton of jobs in the ACC office or the Big 12 office, wherever. But like, this is where the idea of what Chip Kelly, if you could just have a fantasy world where you could just say, okay, we're going to design it in this brand new way.
Mm-hmm.
Having a full 64 team power conference and you can keep all your designations, AC, whatever, but where everybody gets the same amount of money, that would be, to me, the ideal, because we're going to have to gauge in a bit of Shodan fraud for a few years here, where you're going to have schools making over double the amount from TV revenue, and yet we're going to have to act like it's an even playing field, and we should be more like it's going to piss me off that schools that have these massive monetary advantages are going to win on Saturday. We're just like, man, they're just a better run program. Like, no, they have a ton more money coming into them.
Yep.
The
thing that I keep hearing too, and I've heard this from numerous people. I've had some conversations from some people that are, well connected, especially at the Georgia front when I met with them this week. We've heard it a little bit when it comes to Florida State of how are they going to be able to pay to get out of this grant of rights. Is private equity coming into college football of these groups looking at this as a possible, it's not the NFL, it's not as expensive. We see the future of college football. We see the direction it's going in. We see the mega money that's coming into some of these TV deals. We want in now before this thing really blows up.
How do they make their money back in that case, though? Just through portions
TV revenue, ticket sales.
TV revenue. I mean, well, not even just portions of the overall football revenue, obviously with their interest tacked on.
I would think like TV sales, TV revenue sales. I think that's
I'm saying all of it. I'm saying throw all of it. Like if this is your program and you're making X amount of money, they're going to get their payments back just out of that overall gross revenue.
Yes.
And then with whatever interest tacked on. I guess it's tough. It's such a tough thing to know though, because for so many years, we've been kind of sold these bills of goods of like nobody operates in the black, right? Like everybody's in the red, everybody's losing money, but it's like, well, also, schools are kind of cooking their books because you don't want to get budgets cut. Like there's like, it's a very, I guess it doesn't feel as simple as like, yeah, if you invest in a sports, like a professional sports franchise, we've just seen the numbers just go up. Right. Like the Bensons bought the Pelicans for about $400 million. I want to say over a decade ago. They're now worth over like $2 billion. And guess what? The Pelicans have been dog shit that entire time. They haven't won anything, but it doesn't matter. It's just tougher to see that on a college level. But I have heard also that that's where FSU would maybe get out.
I'm not saying just FSU. I'm talking about college football as a whole.
No, I see that. Yes.
Yeah, well, these conferences going that route too, where they bring in these investors to be a part of the future of college football.
Man, nothing says the professionalization of college football like private equity getting involved. That's when it all gets a little seedy. I mean, you should already be out the mine if you're into amateurism, but there's your canary yelling in your ear, get the fuck out. It's about to collapse.
I don't think so. I still am the belief, and your boy Hester got me on this big time. And I know Kelly said that 64 teams. I still think 64 is too many. I don't think there's 64 quality, quote unquote power teams out there that deserve a seat at the table. I think you make it even smaller. I think you make it what college football is so much similar to
me.
Just
pick a random number. 32. You think 40. You make it 32 teams?
I think it's 40. I think it's 40. I think you have 120 teams. You have 3 essentially like European soccer. You have the top 40 champion, the next 40 or whatever, however you want to name them. Do the Chip Kelly thing, Nike, Reebok, and Puma, whatever. And there's relegation. You have 40 teams. You split up into 2020. The top 6 from each one play in a playoff, and then the bottom 4 from that 40 get relegated out. The top 4 from the other one get relegated in.
I mean, it would be awesome, but nobody's ever going to agree to relegation. So again, these are all fantasies.
You know why? Because we talked about it the other day. It's the conferences, they only care about themselves.
Well, not just that, but like, why would I ever agree to a relegation system if I'm like a Kentucky? Like, you have so many have-nots that would clearly argue against that, even if they were like, well, we'll make more money. Right. No, like they'd still say no.
They don't have a choice. You bring in private equity money and they have the majority
the have-nots
you don't have a choice. You don't have a damn choice.
Okay, hostile takeover, creating relegation. Interesting.
So Florida State leaving. Do you think they give a shit about what Kentucky and Vanderbilt are going to boo-hoo if they're not getting as much money because they're not on the top league? They don't care. They want the best product to drive as much revenue through TV sales. And no doubt. All the best teams together in their own league and letting those teams play.
Yeah, but like something like the Premier League would never be agreed to today. I mean, you even saw a lot of the major teams from Premier Leagues across the world try to start their own Super League before fans told them to fuck off, and there was a general revolt that made them get rid of it. So, like, I don't know. I don't think any school would ever. I don't think you'll ever have a majority that would agree to that risk, but I'd love to be proven wrong because objectively, that's the tide. Yes, hell yes. Again,
how awesome would that be?
It's not hard to understand. How crazy would it be if you're watching like Vanderbilt, Rutgers? I don't know. I'm being, Rutgers actually pretty good, but whatever. You get the point. You're watching Vanderbilt, Rutgers, and the loser doesn't get to stay in the big league anymore. All of a sudden, you have shit games, or your team is having a down year.
Yeah.
Like one of the Butch Jones Tennessee years or something, and oh my God, like all of a sudden this traditional power is threatened with relegation. Well, you're like sitting on the edge of your seat every single weekend at that point. Those stadiums aren't empty. You have something to cheer for. It's genius, but it's never gonna happen. I don't think. Anyway,
boo-hoo.
Florida State. I'm still at the much ado about nothing stage, though obviously not getting in the playoff really incentivizes them to figure this out even more. But kind of the story hasn't changed. Yeah. We'll see. Danny Bonilla says they just approved the Super League. Is that true? Well, that died like 2 years ago.
Also saw that, in the chat.
Oh, wow. What the fuck? I haven't thought about the Super League in years, and now there's a story from 6 hours ago on ESPN. 64 clubs, 3 divisions, Super League's new plan after ruling. Sheesh. All right, I'll look this up. Anyway. Anything else in Florida State?
Do you agree that like if Florida State and Clemson were able to get out, do you think SEC would be first choice? Do you think Big Ten would be? Do you think Big Ten would want to expand to the Southeast, and that would be smart for them to kind of be those two?
I think for me, the SEC makes sense because it's simple and it's clean and it fits like a puzzle. I think I've heard smart people say that that it should be, that the SEC actually wants North Carolina, right? More than they want Florida State or anything, and they want Virginia. And then the Big Ten, well, they would love to get into Florida. So I don't know. I would, yes, just for my brain, let's keep it simple, stupid. Put them in the SEC. Bada bing, bada boom. Awesome. Good to go. All right.
How smart are the SEC too, just to not put a number with the name of the conference? I mean, just continuing to win this conference, continuing to win. Don't have to change the name.
I mean, are they? I think I don't know. I don't even think about it as like I guess the Big Ten and the SEC are competing, but I think we're all winners because we get to watch a lot of good games next year, and all of a sudden we'll be watching way more Big Ten football.
I'm just talking about like the naming of the conferences. Yes, like the SEC could keep the SEC. Like the Big Ten having 18 teams is
but they're not the Big Ten, they're the Big.
Are they just the Big now? 10's gone?
I don't know. I think of them as the Big. Which is such a stupid but funny but excellent name. All right. Signing day winners and losers. Big winner, your Georgia Bulldogs there, Murray. How about it, huh? How about the Georgia Bulldogs? #1 class once again. Who could have ever imagined? 29 commits. A great split between offensive defense. 2 5-stars going into signing day. 3 5-stars by the end. I guess we got to lead with the safety flip.
Yeah.
So lead away.
Lead away. Well, it started off a little rocky before that, as we all know, with the Dylan Raiola decommitting from Georgia and going to Nebraska. But didn't stop Kirby Smart from putting together the #1 class in America. Obviously, the big news was the KJ Bolden. I mean, hey, I'll tell you this. I was at dinner last night. We had a little dinner with some friends. Waiter came up and said, "Hey, man, I found out about the KJ Bolden news listening to Snaps about a couple hours ago." I was
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
And the wife gave me a big smile, and I got laid last night. So I appreciate Snaps and him for listening.
First time
she
in a
was
couple
very
weeks.
impressed.
Congrats,
I know,
dude.
God, we've been so sick. So she's like, "Oh, someone listens to that." I was like, "Baby, we have 11.5 thousand followers. Damn right, people listen to Snaps." So yeah, that was huge.
We got good pod numbers. Never forget.
Yeah,
but anyway, continue.
Numbers. I don't get the whole Buford curse because I had 2 kids on my team,
Hey,
2 offensive linemen
you're
that
the
went to
Georgia
Buford.
expert. You explain it to me, dummy.
I don't know. I would love for someone in the chat to explain to me because I had 2 teammates that went to Buford. That was a
Well,
decade
then,
ago.
well,
So, like,
then, all right.
whatever. I guess it's just a decade-old curse that maybe that's the problem. But congratulations, Kirby, #1 recruiting class, bunch of 4 and 5-star guys. Looks really good.
So,
Just keep adding elite guys. That's it. It's what it is. What it is.
3 5-stars, 6 other top 100 players, 78%, maybe 79% blue chip ratio, best in the entire country. 19 4-stars, best in the entire country. Oregon and LSU right behind on that count. Best O-line haul in the entire country. Great running back. Do you need more weapons? I mean, I know Tuggle's a top 100 receiver, certainly, and
Yeah.
Jaden Riddell looks like a great tight end. And again, Nathaniel Frazier, the running back, is fantastic. But like, I don't know. Do you feel like it seemed to really hurt them at the end of this year? Does UJ need more power on the outside?
I never will complain about power on the outside. It's something that Georgia, you thought they had their best season of what we call elite talent on the outside, but then you saw those guys get banged up and kind of hindered them from being as explosive as they possibly could have versus Alabama. You would have loved to have a little bit more depth at that position. So we'll be interested to see if Kirby maybe gets a couple guys through the transfer portal. Obviously, they got Humphreys, the kid from Vanderbilt, who was a talented freshman there, but like, is he going to be able to replace Ladd if Ladd decides to go? Like, is he the same kind of build? I know they're both white, but doesn't mean he's like the next coming of Ladd McConkey. So I agree. Like, I would have loved to see, if I'm a Georgia fan, maybe a couple more talented guys on the outside. But you look at what Kirby's done to build this team. It's on defense. It's in the interior, and you have a bunch of offensive linemen that are all like 6'7", 6'8", 305 to 340 pounds. Like, he's got some
Yeah.
monster individuals up front, and he's not going to change who he is and his identity. It's play great defense, get elite guys outside the football, get a bunch of maulers on offensive line, and we may not be Oregon or USC or Ohio State, but we're going to win because we're more physical.
Yeah, and well, it's paid great dividends thus far until it didn't in that championship game, which again is a 3-point loss in which you have a crucial turnover, maybe a call goes against you. Like, yeah, George is fine, and well, George is even better.
And guess how I guess I bring up the outside talent versus Alabama T, but they also got dominated up in the interior versus Alabama. And I think Kirby kind of looked at it as like, that's still the way to win in this league.
True.
Like, Alabama was a more aggressive team on offensive line. They're the more aggressive team on defensive line. So,
all right. So Georgia, big winner. Auburn, definitely a massive winner.
yep.
We talk about the alignment of Hugh Freeze. I think this class speaks to that alignment. It's traditionally a pretty chaotic place. Freeze has the boosters and everybody pulling in the correct direction, coming up with big time flip after big time flip. I mean, how high did they end up climbing?
7.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy, dude. To pull off a top 10 class after a 6-6 year when you're recruiting and your two main rivals are Kirby Smart and Nick Saban is nothing short of astounding for Hugh Freeze and that Auburn staff. Take a bow.
They got that money, baby. They got that money. I mean, and I think Cole said it. We had Cole Kubelik on a while ago, and him and I talked about this a few times during the season. And he kept reiterating, like, this is the first time in years in which we have full buy-in from everyone of the direction we want to head as a program, and it's paying off. You had a 6-6 season. You were a play away from beating Alabama, and now you put together a top 7, according to 24/7 Sports, top 7 class, and you hit the position you need to hit the most. Like,
not even
you need to get
247. I mean,
receivers.
on 3 industry ranking, yeah, you got some great receivers. On 3 industry rankings, there's 7 as well.
Yeah.
And that's a composite ranking there. Somebody says in the chat, where was it? Davi says, is Texas quietly building a crazy class for next year? Nobody talks about the class, so they sit at 5. Yeah, Texas is awesome. Texas is all really, really good. They added 3 more 5 stars, 15 more 4 stars. That's an unreal blue chip ratio. 18 of the 22 are blue chippers. Yeah, Texas is going nowhere, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Only getting stronger as they enter the SEC.
Tier 1 SEC team. Tier 1 SEC team.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oklahoma, not tier 1. They're with like LSU, Mizzou, Ole Miss, maybe Auburn in that number
Tennessee.
as
You
well.
throw Tennessee in there.
Yeah, probably Tennessee in there as well. That'd be tier 2 of
Yep.
the SEC. Florida's obviously the biggest loser in the country yesterday.
Yeah.
Things just, I mean, when it rains, it pours, and when it pours, sometimes it fucking monsoons. Because I don't know, Billy Napier can't catch a break. Schedule for next year looks awful. They finished horribly. Would they lose last 5 games in a row, I think? It finished horribly. They missed the bowl game. The one thing he had to hang his hat on was recruiting, and you had to watch a class that was as high as 3 during a lot of this process and went into the day at 5, drop all the way down to 16, 18, depending on what recruiting service you're looking at, losing flip after flip. I mean, thank God they held on to DJ Lagway, the quarterback.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been as epic of a disaster as you've ever seen. He also apparently, Billy Napier, stood up the off-campus boys. Jake yesterday on off-campus, he was scheduled to come on.
Not a good look.
Phone didn't come on. You can't imagine why. Can't imagine why he wouldn't go on a national radio show that day, but
I'll say
got
this.
left to voicemail.
The kids today are way more educated than when you and I came out. They just know more. I mean, social media has made it so much easier to kind of just pull up and see a bunch of headlines about the school that you're going to. Like, the only thing that I got about Georgia football and I committed to them was just watching their games on Saturday. Like, I had no idea kind of the day-to-day good or bad going on. Like, I wasn't on the message boards. Social media wasn't a thing, so you weren't getting any day-by messages.
Yes.
Yeah, like these kids, like when you commit, I'm sure you're going to follow, X amount of people that are associated with that university. You're getting notifications all the time, dealing like, oh, I can't believe you committed to so-and-so. Do you see that they're losing from other fan bases? Like, whatever it may be, like they are way more in tune and obviously knowledgeable that Billy Napier's ass is on the hot seat. The schedule next year is an absolute gauntlet. And the chances of him being the head coach of the Florida Gators come 2025 is probably less than 50%. It's hard to sell. It's hard to sell.
No, it's and every time Florida's mentioned right now, it's just negative. To your point, like it's and so this, instead of Sunbelt Billy, we might as well start calling him Black Spot Billy, right? I don't know if this is a real pirate thing or if it just comes from Treasure Island, but the black spot, once you get it, death's coming for you. It's just a matter of when. Somebody hands you that. What?
Pirates of the Caribbean had it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's a pirate myth though. Like, was this a real thing in like real piratical history, or is it just a pop culture thing? But either way, Billy's got the black spot. Everybody, if you were to stand and sniff Billy Napier right now, there would be a cadaverous air. The kind of smell of death would be wafting off of him as there's just no way he makes it, dude. Next year's going to go awfully. And this recruiting class, which was his one saving grace, completely imploded. So
I want to go to Dobby's just before we move on from Florida. Dobby goes, so Mertz is starting ? They don't try and go with DJ to keep his job. I think if obviously if Mertz turns the crap, then yeah. But I think Mertz I know T-Bob and I.
You can't talk to Aaron Murray about Graham Mertz.
You can't talk to me about Graham Mertz. I thought Graham Mertz had a good year. I thought he had a good year.
You
so
can't do it.
Was he amazing? That word won't come out of my mouth, but he had a really good year for what he had to deal with. So Mertz will be the starter until he craps the bed.
John Schultz says, how's T-Bob not a pirate historian? It totally seems like something he'd be into. My father is a pirate historian, and so I've got some piratical knowledge, but I don't know about the black spot specifically. Maybe Florida get Dan Mullen to come back. I don't think so. Did you see Dan Mullen on social media yesterday?
Golfing?
No. Tweeting out pictures of him with margaritas on the beach.
Yeah, he's just Boca Raton
really,
Bowl, all right?
That's what I'm saying. But just really trolling the lifestyle that he used to live and used to be forced into, and just how much, I guess it's just a stock photo of a margarita actually, but really reinforcing the point that like, hey man,
I did bring up to a buddy of mine last night at dinner because he asked me about this whole thing too. And I was like, you know what? Like, if they do move on from him, like, my number one guy would be Dion. Bring Dion to Florida. And he's like, I've talked to people about that, and there's not like, from his opinion, Florida fans would not want Dion in Gainesville.
No, that kind of makes
I'm
sense.
shocked.
They're gonna want. Well, I mean, look, Dion's
Who are they
brand.
gonna
Me and you,
want?
but me and you are believers. But Dion's gonna have to win some more games next year.
No, I
if he
get that's
wants a
what I
real
told him. I was
shot
like,
at a job like that.
if Dion gets to 8-9 wins next season in the Big 12, which I think is doable in that new conference, then I think that's a conversation. But if Dion's 6-6, then yeah, I get it. Like, you don't want to go get Dion that's just 6-6. Like, he has to prove it next year. But with his roster, he should.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Ole Miss on signing day, kind of a non-factor, but that's that we all knew that. Like, nobody's surprised by that. They come in checked in at number 20, and that makes sense. Ole Miss is clearly saying we're going to build a light foundation. We're going to build like when I look at LSU's class, Brian Kelly looks like he's really trying to build like a thick foundation. Like, he wants to build through high school and then add accoutrement through the portal, right? Ole Miss is like building scaffolding. Like their high school recruiting is like scaffolding, and then they're really going to throw a lot of the walls up and everything else and the cornerstones through the portal. So we'll see. It's volatile. We'll see how it works out over time. I would not describe them as a winner or a loser on signing, though, because it is what it is.
We might have lost T-Bob there. All right, before we get to little Christmas gifts for who's been naughty or nice this season, let's hit our partner, DraftKings.
NFL fans, it's time to unwrap some nonstop football action. This holiday season, throw down on big matchups with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on the NFL and score $150 instantly in bonus bets. So, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now with code T-Bob. New customers bet $5 on NFL action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with code TBOB. The crown is yours.
There he is.
I don't know what happened there. I never lost y'all. Well, real quick, we can't move on from recruiting yet, though. We got to discuss Alabama real quick. Obviously, Alabama's class is incredible. It always is. But have they reached a point where are like Alabama fans mad that they didn't beat Georgia?
No, they don't give a damn. They just beat them on the football field. That's all that matters.
Okay, yeah. I'm just checking. We got a lot of Alabama fans in chat. I just want to know how you feel about the class.
They got a 5-star quarterback. They got it's like,
and I said this to LSU fans today. You just got to accept it. You're never going to recruit at the level of Alabama, Georgia. Kirby's just
Ohio State's class is pretty damn good.
I was going to say, or Ohio State. That's the third one. You got to accept you're never going to recruit on those levels.
Ohio State has more 5 stars than anyone else.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Ohio State and Georgia, I think, have the most built-in advantages of any schools in the entire country, where they have massive populations, super high per capita rates of Division I athletes. They're the only show in town, and so everybody goes there. And then you combine the Georgia now with the Kirby Smart, and you may say, well, how does Alabama do it? Well, they have Nick Saban, right? They may not have the built-in advantages, but they have Nick Saban, and so that speaks for itself. So you just gotta do what you gotta do. Some LSU fans are mad. I like LSU's class. We'll see. Big Slum, no, we are not mad. All right, cool. As a Bama fan, we only care how it translates on the field. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're splitting hairs if you're really mad between 1 and 2. They're both incredible classes. And the only one I want to see, okay, Miami, fucking do it. You keep turning these classes, Christopher Fraud, fucking win some games. Anyway.
Miami. Where was Miami last year? Miami was number 7 last year. So you've put together 2 top 7 recruiting classes last year and this year. So yes, you got the talent on the roster now. Time to start winning some football games.
You're in the ACC.
And you're in the ACC.
Win some games, dude. Like, we just fucked Florida State because we said your conference sucks so bad, and Cristobal's still out here going 500. What are we doing? Anyway. Christmas presents for college football. Giving is in the air. Aaron Murray, what do Georgia fans want for Christmas? I mean, I'm sure a win in Atlanta would have been the answer. Unfortunately, we're fucking just chalk out of him. Still can't get one.
God, they can't get one. Well, they got one last year versus Ohio State. They just can't get it
No,
versus
no, no, no,
Alabama.
no, 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 no. Not,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm talking about, bro. I didn't need to tack on the Alabama.
I know.
Little cut.
I think they got what they want. Like be honest with you guys, like they needed Carson to come back, or Georgia would have been that schedule next year been struggling to make the playoffs. I'll tell you that, or they would have had to hit the portal. And I like I like the young guys that they got. I don't love him. Like I've been praising Carson for 4 years. I think we all saw how good he is this year. If Carson Beck didn't come back, you would have seen a Georgia football team, not take like a massive step back, but like I said, they would have struggled to make a.
What do Georgia fans want for Christmas?
They wanted Carson back. Well, what do Georgia fans
want?
They want
a new OC. They want a new OC.
They want Bobo gone. They want Bobo gone.
That's that. Let's be honest. And look, what do LSU fans want? They want to open up a new DC under that tree. They want that house so
different. That is so different. That LSU's defense was horrendous. Georgia's offense was really good, and Bobo was up for assistant coach of the damn year. So, like,
guys, let's not put Georgia's offense. You ain't getting your present.
Let's not put Georgia's offense anywhere near how bad LSU's defense was.
I didn't do that. I'm just acknowledging the truth that Georgia fans want a new OC for Christmas. And LSU fans want a new DC for Christmas.
I think that is a small fraction of Georgia fans want a new OC.
Okay. Well, you knew exactly what I was getting at when I said it, so it must be a little bit bigger than small. What do you call them? A vocal
you just
minority?
Always bring it up, so I knew what you were hinting at.
Walker dog. That's what I want as a Georgia fan. Yeah, exactly. What do you think Alabama fans would want for Christmas? I mean, they just spent an entire football season shitting on their quarterback. Again, they'll try to deny this because they always do. They ran Jalen Hurts out of town. Yep. Like they ran him out of town, telling him he sucked and how he couldn't throw the ball. He's not like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. All they did all year long was tell us how bad Jalen Milroe sucks. And here he sits. He's one of the most efficient passers in the country. He averaged over 10 yards per attempt. He's the only reason they're in the national championship. I bet you Alabama fans still want a new quarterback.
No, I think they're pretty happy with Jalen. What I truly think they want, I think they want revenge on Texas, especially as Texas joins the SEC next year. I think they want to send a message of, one, you can't beat us twice in the year.
Oh, that's true.
Sark, you ain't better. Sark, you ain't better than Nick. Because, I mean, guess what? Like, if Texas gets that rematch and wins, and they're heading into the SEC, they're national champs, and they beat Alabama back-to-back times, and one of them was a double-digit win in Tuscaloosa. Texas is going to be, Texas and those fans are going to be coming in saying that we are the team in the SEC head next year. So, like, I think they want Texas in the national championship, and I think they want to beat their ass. Like, that would be the ultimate Christmas gift for Alabama fans.
That would be. I think you nailed it. Taylor Mickett says, y'all said he sucked. Come on now. He said, it's crazy how y'all switch up when it blows up in y'all's face. I did think Jalen Milroe sucked at the beginning of the year, and he got really good down the stretch.
He did.
Really, really good. I still think he's an interesting mixed bag to where he just knows, like, he knows how to like, okay, his SEC championship stat line kind of is him, right?
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of inconsistency there, but he's eliminated the mistakes, and the explosivity is the difference in a lot of these games because he has this elite defense and these elite weapons that he's paired with. And to be clear,
I wouldn't say elite weapons. I think
you're right. Excuse me. I just kind of it's all about the defense.
It boils down to the defense. Yes.
I would also say that a lot of my perspective on Alabama fans come from the fact that all of my best friends from high school, I'm talking like 7, 8 cats, all ended up at Alabama. So I'm in an Alabama friend group, have been for years. Like that's all. So on Saturdays, I'm just inundated with like, Jalen Milroe can't fucking throw. And now it did start to turn a bit later. It did start to turn a bit later in the season. Somebody said, I love y'all guys, but this is a Georgia YouTube channel. Devin Jackson, let's be clear. Fuck the dogs, okay? Fuck him, okay? You ain't hit me with that crap. Now, if I have to praise Georgia, it's like Gary Danielson. Everybody thinks Gary Danielson loves Alabama, except for Alabama fans who thinks that he hates him, which is a sign that Gary Danielson just keeps it real. Like, you think Garrett Anderson loves Alabama? Or has he been calling games during the most dominant empire we've ever seen? Like, of course it sounds like he loves Alabama. If I talk good about Georgia, it's not because I fucking like Georgia. It's because they're fucking good.
Yeah.
Like they're incredible. So is Bama. But fuck both y'all. And fuck Texas. You know what?
Rawls numbers. There's the reason why they're number 330 game for so long. I mean, it's people are going to tune in to watch Alabama. So Gary's going to have to talk about Alabama a lot. Speaking of tuning in to watch shows, appreciate everyone joining us live here on a Thursday. Take a second, hit that thumbs up button, go subscribe. 12,500, 1,000 away. Appreciate y'all. Merry Christmas.
What do you think Nick Saban wants for Christmas? Not Alabama fans. What does Nick Saban want for Christmas? Maybe like all of his staff not to leave him?
For everyone to stop asking him if he's going to retire if he wins a national championship again.
True. He's going to be very sick of that question by the end.
Oh my God. That's all he's going to get asked. Like, is your greatest season and greatest accomplishments? Is when you kind of walk away from the game if they end up winning a national championship. Like, he's going to get just harassed.
I think John hit the nail on the head. Nick Saban wants a cyborg body. Right? Yes. Yeah. Nick Saban wants to figure out how to transfer his consciousness into a cyborg so that he can continue to coach and dominate and torture us forever. I hate the fact that even if I live to be 100, Nick Saban will still be winning national championships.
Yeah.
At Alabama. It just feels like it's never going to end. LOL Saban's about the three-peat, says Taylor Miggins. Look, I'm done. Okay. I'm done ever doubting. Like I said at the beginning of this year, if he somehow pulls it off this year, then I'm not playing this game ever again. I didn't see how it was possible replacing all the coaches, even with that. Now, to be clear, a ton of talent on that team. Let's not go too far with this, but losing a Heisman winner, losing Will Anderson, losing the coordinators, it should have been a down year. And it was. Until it wasn't. So unreal. Saban's a man. Goated for a reason. Yeah. What does Ohio State want for Christmas? A Michigan.
They need a quarterback.
They want a Michigan loss too, though, bro. Ohio State, one thing they're hanging their hat on is that they've got their natty and Michigan hasn't sniffed a modern era natty. Like, Ohio State cannot afford for Michigan to break through and win a national championship.
Oh, 100%. That would be you lose back-to-back times to them and then they go win a national championship. That's not a good look. You need a damn quarterback. I don't think I don't know if you think the guy on the roster next year is once again, like, Ryan Day will continue to be on the hot seat. Will the conversation ever get really legit to where he could lose his job? I don't know. But your conference is going to get harder next year. I mean, you got Oregon, you got Washington. Oregon, I think, is going to be a really good team. Obviously, Michigan, I anticipate them, returning their quarterback and obviously a bunch of talent there. You need a QB. Like, if you had a quarterback this year, I think they would be, to me, I said earlier this season, like, I think it's the best roster in America. They just don't have a quarterback.
Arch Manning, says Julius Caesar.
No, Arch ain't going anywhere. He's going to be QB2 for one more year, then he'll be the starting quarterback at Texas. Cam Ward's still out there, but I think Cam Ward is kind of locked into Florida State, Miami from everything I'm seeing and hearing. So, like, I don't know who they get, to be honest, that I feel good about being a starting quarterback at Ohio State next year. So I guess, and listen, we're not there. We're not on campus. We're not watching the practices. Maybe he just feels good about what they have on the roster right now, that one of those guys can win it out. I mean, they got a bunch of 4- and 5-star guys. So, like, it's not like they don't have talent. I just think this is always the mental gymnastics that fans are going to have to continue to go through. Is like, do we want someone that has been developed by Ryan Day, but we haven't seen, or do we want someone that we've seen and can essentially be a Band-Aid for a year or two? And that sometimes you're going to have to trust that Ryan Day knows what the hell he's doing at the quarterback spot, and he is a guy waiting to take over next season and doesn't need the portal.
I mean, Ryan Day had quarterbacks throw for 40-plus touchdowns for essentially like almost 6 years in a row. So, like, I'm still going to bet on Ryan Day to figure it out at the quarterback position, even though Kyle McCord was not quite what he thought. I think, look, in Ohio State, what they really want, dude, they need a Michigan win next year. You cannot, and it's crazy to me that Michigan could sit here and not recruit that well compared to Ohio State, not have a team that's nearly as talented and yet continue to just whip that ass. I talked to Joshua Perry, former Ohio State great, captain national championship team, about this. And it's kind of funny because, regionally, we kind of miss some of this sometimes. He was almost painting Michigan like an A&M.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying, look, they just go after a different breed of player. They go after people who kind of buy into the cult. Buy into the cult of the M, right? And
Michigan has 0 5-star guys committed. 0 5-star guys.
Yeah. Bro, they barely break the blue chip ratio. They're like at 50%. And yet they've beaten them 3 times in a row, 3 Big Ten championships in a row. And they're bought in. They're all bought in. I don't think this game is as clearly Alabama as everybody else does.
I do.
I know you do. But it's because you just suffered direct at the hands of it. And you couldn't imagine your poor Georgia Bulldogs losing after 29 in a row, even though I told you it was going to happen. But you just couldn't imagine it. So I feel you.
Congratulations for playing the odds, T. Congratulations.
Exactly. That was my whole fucking point the entire year. What does Deion Sanders get?
Deion gets and wants Jordan Seaton to sign his damn letter of intent to Colorado.
Yeah, what's Jordan Seaton doing, bro?
He's playing the field, man. He's trying to get paid. He's trying to get that money. Good for him. Feeling those offers right now. But that's what he needs, and that's what he wants. He wants that big 5-star, number 13 recruit in the country who committed to Colorado a couple weeks ago to sign his damn letter of intent.
Yeah. Sean Hildebrand says Michigan is 4 stars who end up becoming better than many 5 stars. Yeah, some places like to develop talent. Michigan's one of them. It's like LSU. The Athletic did a great deep dive on it. LSU is awful at developing 5 stars. Like, they have the worst hit rate of 5 stars out of any of the major schools, but they are incredible when it comes to developing 3 and 4 stars. We're like the Iowa of the South, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready, because we coming. We just got to grow these cornfields out.
Where is Colorado? Some of the chat said Colorado's 99th.
Their class is anytime you got to hit next
98th.
page.
Yeah.
Anytime you got to hit next page, that ain't a good feeling. I mean, they really only signed a handful of guys. Wait, 98. I'm seeing 44 on the on-3 composite here. But I mean, only 8 signees.
Yeah.
8.
Ooh.
8.
Hey,
now
portal, man. Portal.
Yeah, that's how they're building.
Portal. Going the portal route.
Yeah. Oh, they haven't signed anyone? Interesting. You're about signing. I'm looking at commits. You're talking about signees. Oh, that's kind of.
They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids that have actually signed a letter of intent.
Damn. Yeah. Well, we'll see if it works out. He's taking the Lane model even to the further extreme. He's not even throwing up scaffolding through high school recruiting. He just put he did a lean-to. He like man versus wild did that shit. He just got 2 sticks, a couple big elephant leaves, and put them up and like, hey guys, check it out. Look at this house. Look at this house. We'll see. Let's see what he can do.
I mean, if this doesn't just tell you his intention of let me just win this year and get the hell out of here.
And okay, yep. You could paint it that way. You could paint it that way.
Know.
Trenches was T-Bob a center. I see the 53. Yes, I was a center. I had an interesting thing where I started in 3 years starting. I started center, right guard, and left guard. I am your classic utilitarian interior offensive lineman. But center was my favorite position and my main position.
Because he likes his balls getting fucking touched by the quarterback.
Love
That's
that.
why.
Loved that.
It.
Not gonna lie there. Also, I love making calls. And I'm a bit narcissistic, and I'll never forget my old man when I was growing up telling me, you're QB1, you shut the fuck up. Quarterbacks don't get to accuse anyone else of narcissism. But I do remember my old man telling me, the only guy who touches the ball every play was the center. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. I should play center. And so that's how it actually started. Very selfish start there. But making the calls was the most fun part. And just stabbing the ball. I don't know, stabbing the ball's tight.
Appreciate it, Taylor. Wearing the number 11.
Hell yeah.
Best number sticks, baby.
I'm a black kid that wore 11 because of Aaron Murray, and I'm a Bama fan. I feel cheated. Damn. That's what's up. Did any last question here, and then we'll get out of here. Did
That should be
any
y'all.
of
That would be a
your
great logo though. Dobby, can we bring up Dobby's note real quick?
Yeah, that should be y'all's logo. Aaron diddling T-Bob for a snap. We should take that picture. We could
We
easily do that.
should take that. Can we make that graphic? I think that'd be a phenomenal one. Why is that not our graphic? That's
Did
what I
any of
wanna
your
know.
centers ever fart on your hands or anything?
Yeah, the worst is still when centers in practice, like in short stay, wouldn't wear underwear, and you'd get under
Yeah.
center and just
And like
plop.
your sack is really just it's
Yeah.
like a bag of
Mm.
groceries. No. You ever filled like a grocery bag with like water or something, and then you like put your hand on it and it kind of like molds to your hand? Like that's like when you got just a fresh hanging sack that it's like
Mhm.
molding into the curves of the knuckles and everything. Although I did that to my quarterback in high school, and next time he got under center, he pulled a little pop,
Oh, yeah.
pop with his hand, which is a dick move. Also, the funniest thing you can do as a quarterback is if you take your hands out, you literally cause the person to punch themselves in the dick. Like, do you know the power over a man that you can have when at any given time you can make a man punch himself in the dick? It's awful and it hurts. Like it legitimately feels like you just punched yourself in the balls if a quarterback pulls his hands out. It's awful.
Oh my god.
It's awful. I'm Taylor Miggins. LAO T-Bob reminds you of every white guy I graduated with. Yeah, fair. Very, very fair. It's like that old Dave Chappelle skit, like, oh, dude, I stuck a carrot up Frank's ass. Yeah, that's basic. How many beers did you drink, dude?
How bad did my hands smell after the games? Not good. People still wanted my sweatbands though after every game. Still throw them out there.
Hell yeah, dude. It's a game use sweatband. Why not?
Sweaty, stinky, a lot of farts. I will say this: like I was blessed. I don't know if your ass is sweaty or not, but like Ben Jones and David Andrews, they did not sweat out of their butt.
I
Always
no
very
no
dry.
no no no.
Phenomenal.
I did not have a
Phenomenal.
particularly sweaty ass, and I would also wear a towel on my ass so the quarterback could, right before they got up in there, they could get a quick dry of their own hands if they wanted to.
Okay.
I was very thoughtful. Also,
Very nice.
every shotgun snap I was putting right here on your right shoulder, so you could
Ooh.
just right here, just right into the drop back, dude.
I do think we need a new logo for 2024. Dobby, appreciate that. I think that'd be
Yeah,
a
good call, dude. All right, we
T-Bob
love
went
you.
over. Mm.
We got to go. I know we need to get
Why?
together in real life though and take that picture. You know.
No, I think an animated version would be sweet, but okay.
Well, yeah, but never mind.
Two
These are all
fuckboy fades. Okay.
These are all. We love you. Everybody have a great day. Please hit the like button, subscribe, y'all. The road to 12.5 continues. Yes. We will see you tomorrow for more snaps. Later. Or will we? Is it tomorrow? What's today? Today's Thursday. We're not.
Post Christmas. Have a great Christmas.
Oh, whoa, shit. We'll see you after Christmas. Later, y'all. Merry Christmas. Like.